Two towering icons, one legendary dynasty. David Robinson and Tim Duncan, better known as the Twin Towers, weren't just great players. They were architects of a basketball revolution. These two giants redefined the game, anchored the Spurs to multiple championships, and laid the foundation for one of the sport's most enduring dynasties. But how did this legendary duo come together and what made them so unstoppable? Let's break it down. David Robinson's basketball journey is one of the most unique in sports history. As a teenager, Robinson wasn't even on the radar as a basketball prospect. He stood just 5'9" in his junior year of high school and wasn't involved in organized basketball. By his senior year, Robinson had grown up to 6'6" and earned a spot on his high school basketball team, earning all-area and all-district honors despite having no prior experience. Even with his success, Robinson got little attention from college coaches. But with a 1320 SAT score and the love for academics, he found his way to the United States Naval Academy. At the time, the academy had a strict height limit of 6'6", which Robinson barely met when he enrolled. However, by the end of his freshman year, Robinson had grown to 6'7", and by his sophomore year, he was towering at 7'1". This made him ineligible for unrestricted line officer duty on naval ships, but the Navy found a compromise, commissioning him as a staff officer in the Civil Engineering Corps. On the court, Robinson was unstoppable. In his final 2 years, he became a consensus All-American, won both the Naismith and Wooden Awards, and led the Navy to the 1986 NCAA East Regional Final. Though they fell to Duke, Robinson had cemented himself as one of the greatest college players ever. Robinson was selected as the first overall pick in the 1987 NBA draft by the San Antonio Spurs, but the team had to wait 2 years while Robinson completed his active duty service as a civil engineering officer.
David Robinson is a top pick in the draft this year, but he comes with some complications, that 2-year military hitch. Will you still go after him?
We waited 14 years. What's 2 more?
Despite this, Robinson stayed involved in basketball and became one of the Navy's most visible recruiting symbols. When Robinson finally joined the Spurs in 1989, he didn't just meet expectations, he shattered them. Coming off a 21-61 season, the Spurs posted the largest single-season turnaround in NBA history, finishing 56-26. Robinson averaged 24.3 points and 12 rebounds per game in his rookie season, earning unanimous Rookie of the Year honors and leading the team to the playoffs. The Spurs even made it to the second round of the playoffs before falling to the Portland Trail Blazers. Over the next few seasons, he cemented himself as one of the league's top players, earning Defensive Player of the Year in 1992, leading the league in scoring in 1994 with a jaw-dropping 71-point game, and winning MVP in 1995. Yet, one thing eluded him: a championship. Despite his brilliance, Robinson faced heartbreak in the playoffs. The Spurs fell to powerhouse teams like the Jazz, Suns and Warriors throughout the early 90s. In the 1995 Western Conference Finals, he faced Hakeem Olajuwon in an iconic showdown but struggled to contain the Rocket star, losing the series in 6 games. Meanwhile, in the US Virgin Islands, a young Tim Duncan was dreaming of becoming an Olympic swimmer, following in the footsteps of his sister, Trisha. A standout in the freestyle events, Duncan was on track for the 1992 Olympics until Hurricane Hugo destroyed the island's only Olympic-sized pool. Forced to swim in the ocean, his fear of sharks ended his swimming ambitions. At 14, tragedy struck again when Duncan lost his mother to breast cancer. Before her passing, she made Tim promise he would graduate college. Turning to basketball as an outlet, Duncan struggled at first, but his talent began to shine. He eventually averaged 25 points per game as a senior at St. Dunstan's High School, earning scholarships offers from top colleges. Wake Forest coach Dave Odom saw potential in Duncan after watching him hold his own in a pickup game against NBA star Alonzo Mourning. At Wake Forest, Duncan blossomed into one of the greatest college players ever. By his senior year, he won nearly every national award and became the first player in ACC history to lead the conference in scoring, rebounding, field goal percentage, and blocked shots. In the meantime, injuries tormented Robinson in the 1996-97 season, limiting him to just 6 games. The Spurs bottomed out with a 20-62 record, but the disappointing season came with a silver lining: the number 1 pick in the 1997 NBA draft, and they selected Tim Duncan. Paired with Robinson, the duo immediately earned the nickname Twin Towers for their incredible defensive dominance and complementary styles of play. Duncan wasted no time proving himself, earning Rookie of the Year honors and a spot on the All-NBA first team. His ability to hold his own against legends like Charles Barkley and Dennis Rodman solidified his status as a rising star. Together, the Twin Towers led the Spurs to a 56-26 record and a playoff berth. In Duncan's playoff debut against the Phoenix Suns, he struggled in the first half with the Spurs trailing 50-45. Suns coach Danny Ainge decided to ease defensive pressure on Duncan, a mistake he'd regret. Duncan exploded in the second half, finishing with 32 points and 10 rebounds, leading the Spurs to a Game 1 victory. The Spurs won the series 3-1, but in the next round they faced the Utah Jazz and Hall of Famer Karl Malone. Duncan outplayed Malone in the first 2 games, but the Jazz adjusted and Malone led Utah to win the series in 5 games. Despite the loss, it was clear the Twin Towers were building something special. By 1998-99, the duo reached their full potential. With playoff veterans like Mario Elie and Jerome Kersey joining the team, the Spurs dominated the lockout-shortened season, finishing 37-13. The team was just as dominant in the playoffs, rolling through the Western Conference with a record of 11-1. In the finals, Duncan and Robinson overwhelmed the Knicks front court, combining for 87 points and 51 rebounds in the first 2 games. The Spurs won their first title in franchise history, with Duncan earning Finals MVP.
The San Antonio Spurs have won their first NBA championship.
I'll tell you, to me, this is just it's a journey that just goes to show that hard work and persistence pays off, baby. I love these guys, and I tell you what, one thing I learned to do this year was trust the Lord through the whole thing. He blessed me, he blessed his team, he took us to the top, and if you learn anything from this, baby, learn that the Lord doesn't give up on his people, baby. He takes you all the way.
All right, Tim.
This is incredible. It feels so great out here. The teammates came out here and we had a tough game tonight. We pulled it out. We kept our focus throughout. We wanted to finish it now, and we did. We did a great job with it.
The early 2000s saw the Spurs battling adversity. In the 1999-2000 season, a knee injury sidelined Duncan, leading to a first-round playoff exit. Despite setbacks, Robinson and Duncan continued to anchor the team, guiding the Spurs to back-to-back 58-24 records in 2001 and 2002, only to fall to the Shaq and Kobe-led Lakers. By 2003, Robinson had announced his retirement, setting the stage for one final run. The Spurs, supported by young stars like Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, finished with the league's best record, 60-22. In the playoffs, Duncan and Robinson led the Spurs past the Suns, avenged their past losses to the Lakers, and defeated the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. They faced the New Jersey Nets in the finals, and the Twin Towers delivered a vintage performance. Duncan had a near quadruple-double in Game 6, and Robinson contributed 13 points and 17 rebounds in his farewell game, securing the Spurs' second championship.
Spurs are your world champions.
Remember the Alamo, and remember this moment. The San Antonio Spurs are NBA world champions. Let the fiesta begin.
To finish my career in the NBA Finals, to win the championship, that's a plan only written by God. I just praise him. Today is an incredible day for me. I'm just glad.
Following Robinson's retirement, the Spurs honored his contributions by retiring his number 50 jersey in 2003. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2009.
I want to thank all my teammates. Timmy, you're my man. Hey. Have any of you guys ever got on your knees and prayed really hard for something? That was my answer to prayer right there.
Meanwhile, Duncan continued leading San Antonio, forming the Big Three with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, winning 3 more championships in 2005, 2007 and 2014. Both Robinson and Duncan built individual legacies that transcended basketball. Robinson's contributions earned him a spot on the NBA's 50 greatest players list and 2 Olympic gold medals. Duncan became a perennial MVP contender, winning his first in 2002 and his second during the Spurs' 2003 championship run. The Twin Towers didn't just dominate, they inspired. Their teamwork, humility and resilience set a new standard in the NBA. Robinson's leadership paved the way for Duncan to lead the next generation, and their bond became a blueprint for building successful franchises. From playoff struggles to championship glory, the Twin Towers era was a testament to greatness built on fundamentals and teamwork. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe for more iconic NBA stories. And before you go, check out this other video of how Phil Jackson and Kobe Bryant built and almost destroyed the Lakers dynasty. Until next time, keep the game alive.